Hey, everybody, it's Jay from the Big Buck Registry Deer Hunting Podcast, and I am being joined in the Ohio studio right now with Dusty Phillips and our friend Wayne Bolton. We just conducted an interview for a show that's coming out this weekend, and if I'm sure you're as mesmerized as I am looking at the antlers that Wayne and Dusty are holding up, and these are just some of the specimens that Wayne enjoys. He goes out shed hunting all the time, and he's going to share with us all the things that he does along the way in this coming weekend show. But look at some of this stuff. It's unreal.
Unbelievable, Jay. I'm sitting here with Wayne here in the studio in Ohio, and we've literally got 4 antlers in our hand that are 350 plus inches of whitetail bone in our hands right now. It's unfreaking believable how big these sheds are. The video that we're posting does not do these sheds justice. It's unbelievable. I got big hands, and it's a handful. The antler is really a handful.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to, I don't know. The video I'm getting is pretty darn cool. But Wayne, can you tell us about some of these sheds? Do you remember where you got them along the way?
Oh, yeah. Listen, all these come off the same farm. 2009 and 2010. I picked them up, and actually, I didn't want to go to Nashville to the NWTF Grand Nationals of the year, and I was trying to look for one of the ones that Dusty's holding. But when I come back, I found it a week later. But yeah, it's just a giant deer. I never did harvest him. As far as I know, he got harvested, but one of them did. But I've never contacted the guy. I tried to, but never did. Never did get a hold of the guy that shot the deer. So, but yeah, they're just giants.
Right. Are these typical finds for you, or are these some of your larger specimens?
These are some of the largest ones. If I could find 80, 90 plus inch antlers every day, I'd be in heaven.
I'm in heaven right now holding these in my hand, Jay. That's for sure.
I mean, they each weigh 4.5, 5 pounds a piece. So, yeah, and they're giants. Thick mass, 30-inch long, 30-inch main beams. The shortest one is 29 and an eighth. So, yeah, that's big.
Just awesome.
That's just amazing. Just I'm gonna hold this particular shed up. Just the G3. How many inches is that, Wayne?
I think that one's 13 and a half.
13 and a half inches of G3 right there, and it's literally at the base, probably 2 inches girth at the base. Unbelievable. And that's the one I'm holding up to the screen right now, and it's just amazing how big this shed is. Right here is a big 4-point. I mean, that's a typical 4-point shed right there. How many inches is this, Wayne?
If you had the other side without the spread, it'd be 165 inches.
That'd be 165 inch, typical, roughly an 8-point. It's got a little kicker down here on the right at the pedicle, coming off the right below the brow tine. I don't know how well you can see that, but man, it's a monster, just a monster. Wayne's holding a match set back here in the back. That's just phenomenal. I'm telling you, people, it's unbelievable how big these sheds are. Yeah, it is unbelievable.
Pictures don't do them justice.
No way. They're just mass all the way out. The tines. I mean, look at that. Look at that fork right there, where that G3 and 4 come out to the main beam. It's just phenomenal how girthy that is. It's amazing.
Yeah, that 4-point there is
81 inch antler right here in my hand. 81 inches of bone right there on a 4-point Ohio whitetail buck. That's amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah. If anybody has any questions, we're taking any questions for Wayne right now. So if obviously we just went through the interview, Wayne, and we talked a lot about the techniques and the strategies that you use and how you go and get set up in a particular area, new areas, timber areas, food plots, not food plots, but agriculture areas where you're dealing with corn or beans. And you want to just briefly go over a little bit of like what's your first initial setup?
Right.
which you'll hear on the show again this weekend.
Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. When I first started out, I just check the food plots and food sources. Try not to invade in the bedding areas too early. Don't want to run them deer out before they drop their sheds. Say I hit a food source, whether it be a winter wheat field, corn field, hay field, cut bean field. I'll walk the whole edge, the whole perimeter of that field. Then I'll cut an X through the field, just to make sure there's nothing in there. And then I'll walk all the way around. I'll step inside the woods 10 yards, walk all the way around the perimeter once again. Now I'll repeat that process every week. I'll only go to that spot once a week. I'll repeat that process once a week. Then once it gets about mid-March, like we are right now, then I'll repeat the process again. And then I start hitting the bedding areas. Start taking the trails that branch out from the food source to the bedding area, and you'll pick up more sheds. Just try not to invade them bedding areas too early. This year, it's been a crazy year. A lot of green. Everything's greening up, honeysuckle, grass, flowers. And we've had a mild winter, 3 inches of snow total, I think, where I'm from. So the deer are more spread out, a lot of browse, and it's tough finding sheds this year. I'm up to, I think, 45 in the 40s. But, yeah, just be patient. And like I told Dusty and Jay here, walk miles for piles. And
miles for piles. I love that saying.
That's a great phrase.
Unreal. How many antlers do you have with you, Wayne?
I've only got 4 right here, but I've got close to probably 4,000 in my collection.
4,000.
So, yeah.
That's unbelievable, ain't it?
How many years did it take you to acquire 4,000 antlers? And you did mention that you give quite a few away. How many years have you been shed hunting total?
I'm not that old, but 21 years, I think. Yeah, a lot of people ask me daily, do you work? Do you have a job? Yeah, I do. I have a full-time job, and I consider shed hunting and hunting, which it is, part of a full-time job as well, especially running a camera and getting it all on film and a lot of footage, B-roll. Spend a lot of time in outdoors, but
no, it's just holding these antlers in my hand, Jay. It tells you the story about Wayne as far as his bad addiction to shed hunting. When you walk into somebody's house, you got a duffel bag full of monster. I mean, these are giant sheds. That tells a story to me. It tells me that he's dedicated to shed hunting. And by as much as I watch Wayne post on Facebook and social media, I think he likes shed hunting better than he likes deer hunting.
It's cost me a few relationships.
I can see that. I could see where that would play a factor in there. Yeah, no doubt about it.
It's crazy. I'm just going to give it a couple more minutes, see if we get any questions here, but definitely check out the podcast that we're putting out this weekend with Wayne coming out. It's going to be bigbuckregistry.com/Wayne Bolton. And it's Bolton, I believe. Correct, Wayne?
Correct.
Gotcha. Yeah, we're going to go over all kinds of techniques and strategies and kind of go over Wayne's and you told a lot of good stories. Let's put it that way.
Right. Yeah. If you guys want to learn how to do it and how to find sheds and how I do it and where to look, listen in.
Yeah, it's definitely amazing how big these sheds really are. I just wish everybody, I really do. I wish everybody could grab one of these sheds, Jay, and put it in their hand
they're world class.
It's unbelievable. No doubt in my mind that they're world class whitetail sheds, and they're just massive.
Well, it's one of those things. Like if you're out and about and you see it, or let's say you're looking in a magazine, then you get a hold of that shed. You're like, oh my God. You don't really realize how big they are until you put them in your hands. Right. The pictures, I don't know why that is. We did it with the Johnny King rack there, Dusty. You saw the pictures and stuff, but it wasn't until you actually held it in your hands that it made sense. I'm like,
Right.
what? And then you take the pictures with it in your hands, like, and you know how relative, your size and all that, and you're like, wow, that is a big rack. So
Yeah,
that's what's happening right here.
yeah, I can testify for that. No different than holding the king buck in my hands. Wayne sheds that he brought in for us to check out
Same
they're
kind of
just
thing.
world class. I mean, it's unbelievable. It really is unfreaking believable how nice these sheds are. And they're all wild deer from here in Ohio, and that speaks volume for a Ohio whitetail herd of what these sheds look like and how nice the quality and the mass, and we got the nutrition to make great antler growth, and the deer take advantage of that here in Ohio, and they put the antlers on the head, and antlers is nothing but excess nutrition. So the nutrition's here. It's proof's in the pudding. I mean, if you can see this shed right here I'm holding up, the proof is in the pudding. I'm gonna back up and grab both these antlers I got in my hand. We'll get all four of them in the view here.
Okay. That one in your right hand, Dusty, is when you turn it. Yeah. Absolutely insane.
Unbelievable. I mean, look at that.
Wow.
Takes up the whole screen. I'm a big guy, and these things are like bigger than me.
Right.
Look at that.
It's a heck of a hobby you have, Wayne. It really is.
Oh yeah, I enjoy it.
And I think you found the right spot, really. I mean, you spend years kind of perfecting this. I mean, 20 years of perfecting where to find these things.
Yeah.
So.
He's on it. There's some
Definitely.
people that go their whole life and never pick up their first shed, but
I have people tell me that.
Right, Wayne, Wayne's obviously paying attention like myself driving down the road. We know where the deer are at.
Right.
That's one thing that I may not kill a deer every year, but I'll tell you where they're at. I know exactly where the big boys are hanging out.
That's right.
Amazing. Man, just real blessed that Wayne brought these into us and able to show them off, man. It's just crazy.
Absolutely beautiful.
Unbelievable how big these sheds are.
I tell you what's funny. We can drive down the road, me and my cousin Mike, a couple of years ago, and we were actually heading to shed hunt. And Mike said, I looked over to my right, said, "Stop! There's a shed out in the field." So there's a 5-point. Of course, I pulled over, and I told Mike run out there and get it where it was. And it was about 150 yards off the road. Mike come back, he's muddy, he's shaking his head. He said, "How in the heck did you see that antler in a cut cornfield, and how'd you know it had 5 points on it?" He said, "You put that there, didn't you?" I said, "I don't know, man." I said, I just
yeah, it's addiction. That's what it is. You say I'm addicted.
Gotta have an eye for it, man.
Right.
Yeah. It's called the reticular activator.
Right.
Once you know what you're looking for, it's always there.
When I was younger, I used to take an antler with me early in the season. I'd throw it ahead of me to see if I could just train my eyes.
Right.
Right.
One time, I'll tell you, what's really funny is I took one and I was standing in a cornfield and I wanted to see how tough it was to find it. So I stood and I threw it over my shoulder, and it took me about a half hour to find it because it blended in with the corn stalk so much.
I believe it. I believe that.
I thought, where in the heck's it at?
Right. It's just like, people talk about mushroom hunting. A lot of people go mushroom hunting 100 times and they never find mushrooms. But if your eye can't, it's a crazy, but when, I'm sure Wayne's just like me on a mushroom. If Wayne's eye spots the reflection or the shape of an antler, it may take him a minute to locate where that exactly was, but he knows that he's seen it.
Right.
Same way with, if you can get on mushrooms and you get that, I look at pictures online or try to do a couple things in advance to train my eye to recognize that particular texture of a morel mushroom or a snakehead, whatever I'm looking for that day. I try to train my eye to automatically click my brain whenever I see that distinguished outline of a mushroom or the texture of a mushroom, the way it looks. And once you get on that, same way with these antlers, I'm sure it's the same exact way.
And I suck at mushroom hunting.
Oh yeah.
I can't.
Once you get onto them though, and you start figuring out their location and what they, just like the deer, they're going to naturally bed in a certain area. They're going to naturally feed in a certain area. They're going to stay close to the woods and the cornfields. to eat, and it all adds up. Once you find mushrooms, you find mushrooms, and you get on the trees that mushrooms grow around. No different than the deer. It's pretty much the same way.
Yeah.
Once you figure out what they're eating and where they're bedding and where their travel corridor is,
right.
you don't have to look nowhere else because that's where their antlers are going to be.
Yep, just don't bump them out of there.
Right, that's right. That's one thing that Wayne, going into the show, just a little touch here that Wayne said, let's talk about some things that I've done and made mistakes. And he said, getting in the woods too early and bumping deer out that are still holding antlers. That's one thing that you don't want to do. He's saying wait till the second week of March before you go in and try to hunt a big mature buck's antlers, unless you got him on trail camera, he's dropped already.
Right.
That's one thing he said that he's made a mistake of, is bumping a bunch of deer, bunch of bucks in particular, out of a bedding area and run them to the farm just across the fence line.
Yep.
Where he can't get to, and they stay over there for a week, staying out where Wayne bumped them. He said that the deer shed their antlers on that other guy's farm, and you may never find them. But about the second week of March, that's when Wayne's saying it's
right now.
It's a go time for shed hunting. Just
It's
amazing.
go time.
It is go time. Man, there's quite a few people joined in.
Quite a few people watching. Not getting a lot of questions though.
Yeah, it's
not seeing. I don't know if it's a Facebook thing or what.
I think that they're just goo goo gaga over these antlers, Jay.
It could be. They might have just passed out on the floor. I don't know.
Yeah, Wayne, appreciate you coming and bringing these to us, man.
It's been great.
Unbelievable. Check this out.
Yep.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, give us one last shot of these antlers before we say goodbye for the evening.
Man, amazing. Just plumb amazing how big these antlers are. They're
Crazy.
so big they barely fit in the studio. We're like whacking them together and stuff. It's crazy. Get an up close shot. Look at the girth on that right there. That fork split off on the G3. Holy cow. Big brow tines. Look at that brow tine.
It's huge.
Amazing. Unbelievable. Just
wow.
Big pollinated brow tine here, big wide one like a blade.
Yeah.
Look at that. That's probably, I don't know, that's probably dang near 7 inches of brow tine right there.
That's crazy.
I got big hands, and my hands will not fit around that.
Right.
Jay, I got big hands.
I know. Yeah, you're a big dude, man. That's a big antler.
Look at the mass on this antler Wayne's holding up there. Unbelievable. Just all the way out. Mass. The main beam's probably got 4 inches of circumference all the way to the end.
All right, now we got a question, Wayne.
Hit me.
All right. What's the biggest antler you have found? That's from Zach Stevens.
Biggest antler. I think the biggest one that I found was a single. It was in the 120s. A non-typical shed.
Wow. All right. Ryan Barak.
Ray Buriak, I think.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Ray Buriak. How many miles do you walk every year looking for sheds?
We talked about that a little bit. You need a Fitbit.
Yeah, they say I need a Fitbit, but I mean, I probably walked 3 hours this morning. I probably walked a total of 4 or 5 miles easy, just in one day. So yeah, I'll put the miles in.
It looks like you're in pretty good shape. I mean, you must burn calories like crazy.
I stay in shape.
I mean, he's eating Fruity Pebbles for breakfast.
Fruity Pebbles for breakfast.
That's live with 250,000 Facebook followers telling about Fruity Pebbles.
That's right. Fruity Pebbles is the
Wayne
trick.
Bolton, the shed hunting, Fruity Pebble eating fool.
Awesome, guys. I think we'll wrap it up on Facebook Live, but thanks for tuning in, Facebook Live, everybody. And Wayne, thanks again for joining us and going through all your trials and tribulations that you've gone through over the years to find all these amazing antlers that just blow my mind.
It's crazy how nice these antlers really are.
Really crazy. All right, guys, we're going to sign off, but we'll see you probably next week for another Facebook Live event. Have a good night.